So, I've made a ton of videos on Security Breach so far, and I am aware of it, okay? I talk about this game a lot, but there's just so much to talk about. But there's one thing in this game that has completely stumped me, and I have absolutely no idea what it means, but there is way too much emphasis on it for it to just mean nothing. Today we're talking about the alpha staff bots found in the sewers and lower levels of the Pizzaplex. Supposedly Vanny's minions, as shown in the Disassemble Freddy ending. But like, why the heck is Vanny repurposing sewer bots into like these malicious like nightmare creatures? I mean, there's plenty upstairs that she can supposedly hack into the systems. I mean, if her and Afton can control the glam rocks, surely they can control the staff bots, but no, just not controlling those staff bots, controlling the ones in the basement for some reason, the ones that have already been discarded. And the weirdest part is that they went through the effort of painting every single one of the staff bots to look like Nightmarionne. Nightmarionne! You know, from FNaF 4. The non-canon character from FNaF 4, whose only canonical appearance has been in a video game in-universe. Hey guys, in editing here, I realized I made a big mistake. I said Nightmarionne's first canon appearance was in Help Wanted. That's completely wrong and contradicts the rest of the theory. His first canon appearance was in Ultimate Custom Night. So, like, anytime I say that his only canon appearance is in a VR game, ignore that. That is not his only canon appearance. That is one of his canon appearances, but it is not the only one. He was also in Ultimate Custom Night, and that was canon. So, yeah, sorry about that. Why is Vanny painting all of these staff bots to look like Nightmarionne? A lot of people neglect to realize that Nightmarionne hasn't been canon until Help Wanted. And I think that's really interesting. He has really no correlation to the puppet, despite looking so similar. He's basically his own character. But the thing is, why? It just simply doesn't. And if you're not convinced that the alpha staff bots are painted to look like Nightmarionne, allow me to go over some things. All the changes made to the staff bots for the Nightmarionne bots are the following. You can see on the face, they have added tear tracks, the eyes are blacked out with white pupils, the mouth is a big smile with a bunch of little tiny sharp teeth, already very similar to Nightmarionne's design. But then we move on to the arms, and they even painted stripes on the arms, so, I mean, you can't get much more blatant than that. It also says "in your dreams" on the chest, which is clearly a reference to the FNaF 4 house, which is from FNaF Help Wanted, because it's in the Night Terrors section, so this still lines up with the canon appearances of Nightmarionne. But it's just so weird, like, "in your dreams," why is that written on there? I mean, I get it, but at the same time, why? They even jump scare you when they make Nightmarionne's jump scare sound. And if you still don't believe they're correlated to Nightmarionne, they are literally called Nightmarionne bots in the game files. It does not get much more blatant than that. And this major design decision for a kind of major enemy in the game, it's very weird, because this isn't even the only main focus of Nightmarionne in Security Breach. There's a whole other part of the game where he gets a lot of emphasis for no reason. In Security Breach, there are 7 plushies that come in golden boxes. Golden Glamrock Freddy, Golden Glamrock Chica, Golden Monty, and Golden Roxy, Golden Sun, and Golden Moon. And all's good, right? You need to collect these to get the VIP ending, everything's good. But I said 7 earlier. There's another plushie that comes in a golden box. And guess what plushie it is? It's a freaking Nightmarionne plush from Help Wanted. And the weirdest thing about it, there is a whole dedicated room to this plush. Allow me to show you. Yeah, so what you just saw was a whole separated room from the endo section that leads to another hallway with a button, and then when you press that button, it opens a gate, and then when you go through that gate, it leads you to a room that his only purpose is to house this plushie, which is in a golden box, which there are only 7 of in the game, and when you collect the plushie, an endoskeleton activates behind it. That is way too elaborate for a single item for it just to be a silly little Easter egg. There's gotta be something about it. So what's up with Nightmarionne? Now I got a few theories on this topic, so let's go over my theories, and if you have any theories that are different than mine, feel free to go comment them, because I'm very interested in what people think about this specific thing, because it's a very weird thing. So before we move on to my big theory that I think has the biggest chance of being true, let's talk about some smaller theories that I think could also be a possibility. The first smaller theory is that Nightmarionne could have escaped the VR game similarly to how, I know people are going to hate this example, but the Fazbear Fright story in the flesh with the Springtrap baby could be something similar to how Nightmarionne could have possibly escaped the VR game. Because, you know, in that story, there's a Springtrap in a VR game, and then he gets into somebody, and then he, gets into somebody, he escapes the game, and then he turns into a baby, and he crawls out of this dude's stomach. It's a really weird story, but I feel like it could give us a slight hint at Nightmarionne. I'm not saying somebody gave birth to Nightmarionne, okay? I am seriously not saying that. I'm saying that maybe it's a possibility that maybe a video game character found a way to escape the video game. Although, Nightmarionne's AI from the game probably wouldn't be sentient, because, like, I don't know, Afton is sentient because it's his actual soul there. Glitchtrap was actually Afton. Nightmarionne is not an actual, like, thing. He's not sentient and help wanted. He's just a normal character. He's just a normal video game character. So it doesn't really make too much sense that that kind of character would be malicious enough to try to escape the game. Now, this next theory is similar to the last one, but not exact. So basically, maybe Nightmarionne could have escaped the game and became in the digital space and, like, the Pizzaplex's systems and stuff, and he's corrupting some stuff from there, which might have interfered with Glitchtrap, which gave Vanny the motivation to paint on those faces. What significance this would even have, I have no idea. I'm just throwing ideas out there. But now let's move on to the bigger theory that I think has the most weight to it, because it actually ties into Ultimate Custom Night as well as Security Breach. So, what does this all mean? Okay, hear me out. Nightmarionne is the Grim Reaper in the FNaF universe. Allow me to explain. Nightmarionne's first canonical appearance was in Ultimate Custom Night, which everybody knows is William's purgatory. Well, not quite hell, because the Grim Reaper visits people while they're still alive to end them. While, in William's case, he's in a coma in a hospital, as revealed in The Man in Room 1280 in Fazbear Frights. So, during William's coma, what if Nightmarionne is the Grim Reaper trying to give him his death sentence? Because Nightmarionne is known for spitting lines like, "Let's taste death again and again and again. I am the fearful reflection of what you have created." What if Nightmarionne is trying to follow William into his coma to try to end him? And this is why Nightmarionne is the most difficult character to deal with in Ultimate Custom Night. He's the only character not controlled by Cassidy in Ultimate Custom Night. He overlays on top of the screen, like he's interrupting your game. He specifically doesn't show up with the other characters, and he's very directly in front of you. Maybe Nightmarionne's mechanic of being in front of the screen trying to bother you, and if you hover your mouse over him and touch him, he kills you. Maybe that means that he's trying to kill William primarily, and he doesn't really care about any mechanics or anything. He's just trying to go straight after William, not even trying to torment him, and then drag him to hell, because, you know, he's a bad dude. And if Nightmarionne's the Grim Reaper, that would be his job. Another note about Nightmarionne's design that a lot of people don't notice, the back of his head doesn't quite work how the puppets does. He actually has more of a hood on the back of his head, which, if you know what the Grim Reaper looks like, it's pretty dang similar. A character in a black hood with a white face, poking through, almost skeletal body. Do you see what I mean? Then if Nightmarionne in-universe is just like some kind of urban legend kind of character, then he would be pretty easy for Fazbear Entertainment to just put in Help Wanted as an extra spooky dude that they need. Which would also explain why he has a plushie. And if Nightmarionne is in William's head, so this would in turn mean that Nightmarionne could also be infiltrating the mind of Vanny. And there's a room in Security Breach that Vanny chases you into, like she's trying to show you it, and it's a room that she made in the sewers. It's full of these painted staff bot heads, sticky notes that say random gibberish and random drawings, and she has painted so many of these heads. Another thing to note about this room, the candles kind of imply a ritualistic element, which is very interesting. I think the reason for the "in your dreams" written on the Nightmarionne bots' torsos is because Nightmarionne is infiltrating Vanny's dreams to try to get her to stop, because at this point, she is the one thing stopping him from dragging Afton to hell. But this instead has just made Vanny go even more insane than she already was, and she started painting the staff bots to look like him, probably because they vaguely remind her of him or something. But I just think it's really interesting, this room in general, and the staff bots in general, how there's so many of them. And it's clear that Vanny painted them to look like this, because in the ending you can see that Vanny is in control of them. She chooses her minions to be painted to look like Nightmarionne, and I think that's really, really interesting. But yeah, this is my personal theory. I think that the next step in the FNaF storyline is for an executioner type character, who I think will be Nightmarionne as a Grim Reaper type thing, to come after Afton and finally make him pay. Because at this point, the series needs an actual force that can go up against Afton, because nothing's really working anymore, and I feel like something that could actually work for the storyline is, instead of people trying to send William to hell, hell is trying to come get William. Because at this point, he has broken every single rule of living. Like, bro, this man should be dead, but he is not, and I feel like the only other step to get this guy dead is to have something that can actually kill him come after him. And what better to do that than a literal demon? I think if any of this has any kind of weight to it, or if Nightmarionne is important, we'll definitely be seeing it in Ruin or the game after Ruin, because I think Afton's storyline is genuinely gonna conclude sometime in the next few years. I know it sounds crazy, because he always comes back and stuff, but he can't keep coming back, and I genuinely think that this would be the perfect way for him to go out. And if it doesn't lead to William's end, then I think it would at least be a cool storyline to introduce. Because I do think that FNaF needs some big switch up, and you know what would be really interesting for a horror franchise? Demons. Especially a demon that we didn't even suspect was a demon. I just think the idea of an executioner coming to hunt down William is a really cool concept, and I really hope they use something like that. Just anything similar to that. I really want something interesting to happen with William in Ruin or the next game or something sometime soon. I really hope we can get something like that, and yeah, it's basically my theory. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a different theory? Let me know, because I'm open to a discussion, because this theory really, this whole Nightmarionne thing in Security Breach really isn't talked about enough, and I think it would be really interesting if more people would just discuss about it in general. So, yeah, let me know. So, see you in the next video.